Hi, welcome to Positively Sparking, a podcast on internet marketing, online productivity, and business. Today I'm with Regev, internet marketeer, entrepreneur, and co-founder of Zest.is. We're going to be talking about content marketing in 2017. Hi Yam, welcome to the podcast.
Hi Phil, pleasure to be here.
So you're speaking to us from quite a long distance away. Just tell us who you are, what you do, Yam, and where you're located.
Sure. So I'll start from the end. I'm located in Israel. Right now our offices are in Tel Aviv. And, general about myself. So I'm in the last 11 years, I'm doing everything that is marketing. I founded my own web marketing agency, which grew quite fast. And then I moved on to do consultation for big brands in Israel for huge brands from the farming industry. And later on, I joined a huge startup called Webido. Over there, I was the CMO for the last 5 years. And in the last 6 months, I founded my own gig with another partner that's called Zest. And I believe that this is what we'll discuss about in this podcast. I think that it will be also good that I will say one thing that I suck in. So I really bad in work-life balance. So that's something that I'm trying to improve in. And of course, having my own gig is not helping the whole thing, but I'm trying to improve myself.
Well, yeah, work-life balance is a lot about what our podcast is about too. So that balance of entrepreneurship and still living a healthy family life and personal life, it's not easy, is it?
But, you're totally right.
Hopefully we'll learn some tips from how you've done it in the podcast too. So Yam, you're bang on right. I'm really excited to talk to you about Zest today. So Yam, tell us all about Zest. What does it do?
Yeah, cool. So Zest is a content discovery platform for professional verticals. Right now, the main vertical that we are targeting are marketers. And the product itself is a Chrome new tab extension. So as a marketer user, you just need to go to the Chrome web store and install Zest. Over there, you will see a feed of suggested content that was suggested by other marketers and was probably manually reviewed by our own super users, and this is the way the content get approved on Zest.
Great stuff. Sounds a very useful tool, and I know it is because I use it myself.
Great.
So tell us a bit about how it came into being.
Sure. Well, actually, what can be nice. I started to write Zest manifesto. So I think that in order to better understand how Zest came to life, it will be nice if I'll just read you the first paragraph of what I started to write. And I think that it will shed a lot of light of what Zest is. So yeah, just give me 20 seconds. Here I go. So forgive me, marketing content consumers, for what I have seen. As an executive marketer, I've clickbaited you, newsjacked your social feeds, manipulated Google search algorithms in order to show you my content and products, gated fluffy content so I'll get your email, repurposed my old content in a make no sense manners, listicled so many articles, put my social accounts on autopilot so you will think I read tons of articles, although I read none. I faked addresses on Google My Businesses and spammed tons of reviews on my e-commerce sites and local verticals listings. I also bought likes, I bought followers and views from time to time. Generally, I did everything I could in order to get your attention. I literally did everything, and I'm not even going to speak about vote-based platform manipulation, sponsored deals that were closed behind closed doors, and all the black hat marketing techniques I undertaken. So that's a short paragraph of what I started to write as a Zest manifesto. And I think that's the reason that Zest is here. So it's not because that I want to clean my own past or to bring better karma to the world. I just think that the whole marketing industry is taking a wrong direction. And this wrong direction is that trying to do everything in order to get more revenues without providing enough added value, we can say. And what we find ourselves as marketers or marketing executives is to try and just speed up this process. But what I'm trying to do with Zest, and this is what and this is why my partner joined me as well, is that we're trying to put off all this fluff and all this revenue chasing, and to put the user in the center. So I know it sounds a bit cliche, but this is exactly what we are trying to do, and this is how Zest came to life. And I think that later on we can drill down in it and to better understand how the whole system works.
Well, that's a very noble cause there, Yam. So you've come from this dark arts kind of background, and pretty much every web marketeer must have done one of the things at least that you've mentioned there. And there are so many kind of shortcuts and ways that we can make things work that aren't putting the user at the center of the experience, which is what you're trying to do with Zest. So I noticed that you were 1 year old today at Zest. Is that correct? And if so, tell us what's happened in that year. So from taking that noble cause on, where have you got to?
Yeah, so I'm celebrating 1 year at Zest today. Again, me and my partner. So we actually launched Zest 1 year ago. It was a soft launch, we can say. The whole product is built on kind of iterations and back and forth processes with our alpha users, which are all marketers, of course. And I think the last year was just amazing. I think that every entrepreneur that says that entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster, I think he doesn't know what he's talking about. I think that he need to move on to where the grown-ups are playing, because having the entrepreneurship kind of life is something so. It fills you with a lot of emotions, but with a lot of expectations and success, kind of success and accomplishments as well. So I think that, if we try to focus on what we did in the last year, we launched a product, or we soft launched a product, and then I asked a couple of friends and colleagues to test it out and say what they think about it. We call it the alpha version of Zest. The reactions were horrible. No one said that they like it. They didn't like the design. They didn't like the layout. They didn't like the agenda. It was hard to engage with. We're still today, we're not sure why. But as time went by and we improved things along with the feedback that we received from our users, so we saw a change in the consumption or the use of these users with Zest, with the platform itself. And we saw that the more people, as much people are using it, the better the product is getting. And then we understood that the whole platform should rely on the community itself. So what we are trying to do is to take Seth Godin tribe model. I'm not sure if all the people know what's that, but Seth says that all digital affairs out there should be laid on tribe models, and the more tribe members that you have, the better the product is. So what we did is that we let our own tribe or our own users to suggest content that they think is Zest worthy, or the content is in a high quality. So everybody else, all other marketers, should consume this content. Because we don't want to have people that will be able to manipulate the system, so we have a group of super users. We call these guys chiefs, and these chiefs are reviewing the articles that the tribe members suggested. All the approved content getting into a chief moderator. In this case, this is me, and soon I will need to have someone that will help me with that, just for another review and to make sure that the content is really Zest-worthy, and just to align everything and to wrap things up. And then I'm, as the chief moderator, I'm publishing the article itself, and of course, then I'm writing a personal email to the marketer who suggested this article. In this human-based procedure, we succeeded to take off all the options to manipulate algorithm. Right, like you have different vote-based platforms like Product Hunt and all that, so people can just vote on products over there. and then these products are getting a lot of exposure, but it doesn't mean these products have some added value to you as a professional. In the marketing world, you have the same kind of platform that you can just ask for other people to vote your content, and then the content will get some extra exposure. As a professional, it's not mean that this content have any kind of added value for me. So by adding the human factor into this process, we succeeded to take off this manipulation option, and we see that the content that gets published on Zest is in a really high standard. So there is a lot of added value in the article itself, and a lot of takeaways and action items, and it's not just another news item or something that is fluffy. So I think this is the real charm of what's going on in Zest.
So great point there. A couple of great things you said. So at first you spoke about launching it and getting not great feedback from people, which is part of that kind of emotional journey you go on as an entrepreneur. And then also you spoke about bringing the human side back into the web. And, everything you mentioned in your opening statements about all the ways that you used to do your web marketing and how they were all manipulating algorithms and the areas of the web where there is no human being present to decide what is worthy and what isn't. By bringing that back into Zest, you've created something which is more authentic in what it's trying to do. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. I think that's the key point of what we do, because all the automation platforms and tools that you have over there, they're really taking off the human factor out of it, and then products or brands cannot get in a high friction in a good way with their own users, which is the most important thing that a product or a brand have. So it's kind of contradicting each other. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
So you mentioned there you have some kind of super users. So who are your most common users, and how do you become a super user?
That's a great question. Actually, in the last, I think it was last week of June of last month, we surveyed our own tribe members. So we look at the data. Most of the users are connected with their LinkedIn account in order to follow each other and to suggest content on Zest. Mm-hmm. You need to log in with your LinkedIn account, and we saw that 77% of the users have a director and up in their job title, which means that there are a lot of VPs of marketing and CMOs and founders with marketing orientation. So that was quite shocking for us, because we understood that the people that most engaged with Zest are senior marketers, the majority of them. So that was amazing. I believe that these guys understand what is the pain that Zest is trying to solve. That us as professionals, we are just living in an information overload kind of world with a lot of sources to consume content, and actually there is no one effective and trusted way to consume contextual and added value content. And I believe this is what these guys are finding in Zest. So that's something that was really amazing for us to see that these are our. This is the typecast of our best users. Right now we have 9,000 weekly active users, and we just officially launched Zest. It was in the beginning of March. So the growth is quite high, and I believe that part of this growth is, from all the almost face-to-face interaction that we have with our users. What else was nice to see is that most of the users, we actually never did some kind of proactive promotional activities. We never did, of course, paid acquisition for Zest. We never used any kind of ad network or something like that. We also we didn't start to do SEO or content marketing or any kind of the marketing channels. We actually didn't touch it yet. And what we understood from serving our own users is that once they have this aha moment, that they understand what the product can do for them. So they're just spreading it around. So I believe that our main growth channel right now is word of mouth, which is quite quite great, because I think that any kind of traffic that you'll pour in your marketing funnel that come from word of mouth kind of channel, so this kind of traffic will have the best engagement ratios throughout the funnel. And I believe this is what we are experiencing in Zest right now, and that's a huge bless for us.
It certainly is. So pretty much all of your growth has come from word of mouth, people telling each other about it, and growing from that point of view. So that's also a great reflection of how people are enjoying Zest, isn't it? Because they wouldn't recommend it if they didn't enjoy it. So Yam, how did you reach out and find me? Because I remember you sending me an email some time ago. I think it was 2016 autumn time, maybe.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah, in your first version of Zest. And so how did you know to reach out to myself? And I'm guessing you did other people who matched my profile as well. Was there some kind of proactive searching on LinkedIn at that point, or something of that kind?
Maybe now I'm going to uncover something, but I think that the way that we know each other is through Joe. I think that Joe, she encountered Zest somewhere, somehow. She and she went through all the process that I just described. It means that she installed a Chrome. We didn't say it yet, but Zest is a Chrome new tab extension. So she installed the extension, and then I believe that she used it for a couple of days, and then she suggested the content. It was one of your podcasts, I think. I really liked the podcast. It was great, and I told her that, of course, she got a personal email from me saying that, hey, your suggested content was really great. It will be published on, this day, and then she said that I think that she mentioned us in your podcast, probably a couple of podcasts after. So again, I think it's the same effect of word of mouth that people, I think they're experiencing a few aha moments with Zest, because you read a lot about great tools that do content discovery or where you can share your content on. And then, as a marketer that need to distribute your own content, you're going and try these tools. So I believe that the first aha moment for marketers who use Zest, they just installing the extension. They love the layout, they love the design, they feel at home over there. I think it's really marketing oriented, the whole layout and design. It looks like a huge or a nice dashboard in this case. And I think this is the first aha moment. The second aha moment is that they actually read the article over there and understand that this is really high-end stuff. Because Zest really succeed in filtering out, bad content and good content. And of course, so they understand how good is that for them. And then once they understand the added value of Zest, they are trying to suggest the content on Zest. And once they get this personal email from us saying why their content was accepted or not, and of course with the reasons if it wasn't accepted, so we're saying what are the reasons, then they understand something that happened probably in no other place. It's that someone actually taking very seriously their content. And what I'm telling to those users is that we believe in Zest that you as a marketer for this brand or for another, you need to take your own content super seriously, like you're taking your own product. With your own product, you need to provide as much value as possible, right? Same goes with the content that you provide for this product or for this service or for this or another brand. So the whole thing, the whole content thing should be not about quality, but more about quantity and added value and all the other parameters that I mentioned before. And this is really our end goal. So we understood that in the marketing professional vertical, along with other professional verticals, of course, you still have this problem of, discovering useful content. And this is the feedback that we are trying to give to our own users. Mhm. Wow, that's a key question. I think that when I'm mentoring or when I'm meeting young entrepreneurs who just want to, or even when I'm just building marketing strategies for other brands and startups, I'm trying to um, I'm trying to go through the safe side of the procedure. Sorry, I think that the safe side of the procedure is to come in, to your own venture with. You definitely need to have some sort of a revenue orientation or mindset, right? Otherwise, you will not be able to run your own venture or startup. So I think that what I'm saying to others is that don't try to work on your growth that much before you are fully stable, whether it's with your own product or with the support that you can do, or with your marketing activities. Just make sure that every part of your venture is stable enough and is ready to absorb growth, and not only to absorb it, but also to make it to expand it. So that's something that's really important, to be super stable in all your venture pillars. And I think that the other thing, or the next step would be the ability to grow in a sustainable and scalable way. So it's lie down exactly on what I said before, but here you also need to make sure that you actually don't you not only want to grow, you also understand that you need to take this growth and to expand it. And the expansion shouldn't be only on marketing perspective, right? It should be also on how you do HR activities, how you recruit the right guys. If you have sales department in it, so of course they need to know what to do over there when there is a flood of traffic and traction, and the funnel is getting bigger and wider. And I think that the last thing would be probably to make sure that you have an economical kind of business model. So you cannot just expand. I think that probably till 2011 or 2012, startups, even maybe before that, startups raised funds only based on their own growth. So it was, your main KPI was to have a lot of visitors to your site, or maybe, a lot of registered users. And I think that these days, probably the last 5 years, um, if you want to raise more money, if you want to really be stable and to know how to grow right, I'm not talking about fast, but right. So you just need to make sure that your financial model is right. And I think that most of your A/B tests should be around your financial model, not only about the structure of your own company or how your marketing activities are going, but to try different things, different model. Maybe sometimes it will be a SaaS kind of a model. Maybe for in other types of businesses it will be something else. But just keep on trying your business model and testing it.
Great advice there, Yam. I think that point about growing in the right way, so it's not just about numbers of users and getting as many registrations as you can and using that as the judge of how well you're doing is such a good point. If we want to build a sustainable business, it has to be great for everybody involved, doesn't it? The customers, the team, your bank who's looking after your balance, and you as a
Definitely.
person. All those things matter. So do you think, given all those things that you mentioned there, it's harder in 2017, or do you think there's more opportunity?
I'm not sure it's harder, right? In these days than other days. I think that as an entrepreneur, what you need to make sure is that you are staying focused throughout the whole process. You don't need to let others move you from your own focus. You don't need to let your investors to move you out of your focus. I can tell you from first hand when we started or when we soft launched Zest, and we got all these feedback from our users, and they felt they know best what should be done with Zest and what is the direction we should take it. We should take it to. We understood eventually that we really believe in what we do. We understand what is the agenda that we are bringing to the table. We felt that we know what is right and wrong to our own product. And I can guarantee that if we were listening to all our users' feedback, even when we surveyed them and created all these kind of NPS questionnaires and all that, so we still stick to our own beliefs. And if we were listening to all our users' tips and tricks over there, I'm sure that Zest would not be existed right now. I'm sure that we will vanish probably a couple of months ago. So I think that you really need to believe in yourself, and you need to create, a model where you are irritating some sort of ideas with your own partners and or team members. But you definitely need to be focused on and to remember why you started this whole thing. So that's one thing, and I think that these days the more focused you are, not only in your agenda but also that your targeted audience, for instance, it's something that's super important. This is why actually we started with the marketing professional vertical on Zest. For me, it was easier to target marketers because I'm a marketer myself, so it's easier for me to understand what we want to achieve, what we want to receive from such a tool. And of course, this is our POC, our proof of concept, and to try it out on the marketing vertical. And I believe that once we'll be able to stabilize our own model, not only revenue-wise, but also the whole tribe model that I described before, then it will be the point where we will be able to expand to other verticals as well. So we could have start Zest, with targeting 15 different verticals with not only marketers, but also people from the finance industry and designers and coders and all that. But we said that it's important to be focused and to try only the marketing professional verticals to start with. Once we'll have this proof of concept, then we'll be able to expand. So it's all about focus. This is what I think.
So that focus is a really, really tough thing to continuously have every day. So Yam, when you were getting all those suggestions from users about what Zest should be, how did you maintain belief in what you wanted? On those tough days when it was all going wrong, how did you maintain that kind of strength?
Yeah, I have so many days of this, like what you just described. It's amazing when, I'm just thinking on it and I want to cry. It was really tough times, and we still have this kind of tough times. But, to be more specific and to answer your question, I think that you always need to, and it's quite hard. It's something that you need to practice. It's like a muscle. You need to, take off all this extra noise that you have around you. Find a quiet place. Try to remember why have you started this whole thing. What was your pain when you thought about this or that solution? You need to remember these days, or how for Zest, or for me, it was that I feel that I'm lost in a sea of data and a sea of content, and I believe that a lot of people are trying to manipulate me in order for me to be exposed to their own content, but this content have nothing. It's not helping me in any way. It's have a zero added value for me, and then I find myself just wandering in this ocean of data, not knowing what should be next. As a marketing executive, we need to not only know the next thing about marketing and what's new and what are the new doctrines and methodologies, or what is the new Google algorithm is about. I also need to know how to manage other people, my own team, and how to build it for growth. I also need to know how to work with my boss, with the CEO. And again, because I was in a big startup, that I was the CMO over there, so I need to know how to communicate things to the investors and to the board members and all that. So as professionals, we have a lot of places where we encounter question marks. And when we encounter these question marks, we are going to whatever, this platform or that platform or Google or whatever, and we're trying to learn and to improve ourselves. But once you understand that you are consuming something that is not helping you, but you just think at the beginning that it was good for you because all your colleagues liked this post from this influencer, but eventually it was a hollow kind of article. So you understand that something is wrong. And when I remember these, tons of minutes that I experienced this kind of experience, it really bringing me down to the ground. Then I understand and remember why am I doing this? Why am I going through this tough journey? In our case, we also need to use a lot of kind of demand generation kind of techniques, and we need to educate the market for why they need it, because I think that most people, they don't understand right now as professionals, whether they are marketers or not, that the content that they consume is manipulated content, or it's a clickbaity kind of content. So I think it's important for us to understand what brought us to this place. Why are we doing that?
So going back to that root cause and bouncing from there again, almost resetting yourself, going back to that original day. Great tip. Mm-hmm. So Yam, you've mentioned just previously that one day you'll bring in verticals for finance and for other professions and interests that people have. What's the very next thing you're going to do with Zest?
I think that probably by 2018, I think it will be around Q2, we'll be able to expand to 2 or 3 more verticals. But that's really long term. It's good to have it on your product roadmap or in your strategy roadmap and Gantt. But, things, it probably will get changed. I think that if we are trying to look short term and to understand what we have on the table right now, so in 1 month from now, and this is quite funny because we already have a mobile app for Zest that is almost ready. My partner is probably the best CTO in the world, as far as I'm concerned. And he already created this mobile app. So people will be able to read content, on their own mobile and to use Zest over there, suggest content and so on and so forth. And this is quite funny because what we are experiencing between of us, me and him, is that he's representing, of course, the R&D and product department, although we still don't have department, it's only him. And he's ready. He wants to launch. And I'm, as the marketing, I'm telling him, but it will increase the usage of Zest. We will have tons of more content suggestions. As marketing department, we will not be able to absorb all these, and then we will have some sort of, it will be like a bug, like a front-end kind of bug, because people will suggest content and nobody will contact these guys. This is, by the way, what we are experiencing these days. We are trying to improve this whole, manual procedure process. So I think that the best big thing on our roadmap is to create this mobile app and to launch it the way that we launch things. We have our own users advisory board. So it's something that relate to our own agenda, of course, as I described it before. And these users, they're really engaged with what we do. They love the agenda, they love the product, they love the brand. They feel really engaged and they are involved in our product roadmap. We're sharing with them, the Excel spreadsheet where our Gantt is for the product, and they have their own feedback on that. So these users probably will be the first one that will try out the mobile app. And after that, we'll create some sort of alpha group and beta group. And, this is the way that we launch Zest as well. So it's something that comes from the users themselves, and they will spread the word afterward for this product or feature or for the other. So that's one thing. I think that the next big thing for us, and this is something that's really huge, it's part of our own vision, is that in the last couple of months since we launched, so I got a lot of emails from chief editors and a lot of blog owners, big blog owners in the marketing world, and they said, "Hey Zest, you guys have probably the best curated content over there on your Chrome extension. Why won't you create a widget and implemented it? We will implement it in our at the end of each article of our own blog." And then we understood that there is no content recommendation solution for professional verticals. So you know probably Taboola and Outbrain, you know these companies?
Yeah.
So these guys are doing a great job, but they are working with huge publishers like CNN and BBC and all that. But they are really B2C kind of, non-professional content recommendation platforms over there. You can read an article and then read at the bottom how Kim Kardashian fixed her boobs. Yeah, sorry for my language. So it have nothing to do with what you read. And of course, this kind of lack of contextual and of course a lack of a lot of added value cannot be implemented in professional blogs or in professional blogs verticals. So you cannot read about the next PPC technique or how to manage your social media and then to read about Kim Kardashian. And I believe that this is where we will be able to provide a solution for this kind of niche blogs. Of course, we'll start with the marketing vertical and we'll expand. But I believe that this will be the next big thing, after the mobile app will be launched. So we'll create this kind of widget, and then blogs from different sizes will be able to implement these widgets on their blog over there, and we will recommend content, and it will be, recommended by Zest. And I hope that we'll be able to build our own brand authority enough till then, so the whole solution will be trusted.
Great stuff. So you've got a mobile app coming out. Is that both for iPhone and Android?
Yeah, we'll start with the iOS start with, and probably Android will be 1 month or 3 weeks after.
That's definitely not too long after at all. And I love the idea of the kind of content marketing app, that widget that you're going to produce that will, make something relevant. Because you're so right about Kim Kardashian and Outbrain and Taboola. They're great tools in a sense, but what they're not so good at is keeping everything consistent and relevant, and letting people go on a content journey. I guess that's what you're trying to do, where they might read about one thing and then read something else which takes them deeper and further into that topic.
Exactly.
So that sounds like a great idea. So Yam, with all these things going on, where can we find you online?
So I spend most of my social media time, if you can call it that way, on LinkedIn. So I'll be happy to connect, with anybody over there. Same goes for Facebook, and I believe that on Twitter it's not my strongest point, but I need to improve that. So I will work on it. But I mainly use Facebook and Twitter. But most of my digital time, I'm spending it, of course, on reading or reviewing tons of articles. I think that I'm reviewing around the last time that I checked, I think it was 2 weeks ago. So I reviewed 5,230 articles in the week before that. So I don't think that I need to be in other places as well. I just need to review content, make sure it's fine, and just publish it on Zest, and just make everybody else happy.
Sounds good. And Zest we can find at zest.is. Is that correct?
That's right, yes.
Perfect. So Yam, it's been fantastic having you on the show this week. Have you any final message you'd like to give everybody listening?
Not quite. Just one message is really important, that if the marketers are listening to this amazing podcast, I think that just start or continue create a lot of added value for your own targeted audience, just stop abusing content. Content should come from the inner of yourself, and you should bring it to others. So it will be, just with a lot of added value and stuff like that. So that's my main thing.
I think that's a fundamental thing to who you are, Yam. Content from the heart, not from the pocket. I think that's something Definitely. We can say about you. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you here. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Phil. You too. Thanks for having me.
My name is Phil Byrne, and I'd like to thank you so much for listening today. I hope you got something really good to take away from this week's episode for you or your business. And you know what? I'd like to give you something more. In fact, I'd like to give you a whole free web marketing pack full of all my latest and best ideas on how you can take your business forward positively online. Download your pack at positivesparks.co.uk/pack, and most of all, guys, look forward to seeing you again next week.